Hello and welcome to this discussion on exam handling. Now, in fact, just a few days left for the exam, and uh, I know you are a bit tense about what will happen in the exam, and I know there is a lot of pressure on you, the pressure to be successful. So, naturally, that can always be a killing experience, because and the burden of expectation is a big problem. So, but let me just remind you one thing, you have to keep a bit calm. If you are under tension unnecessarily, if you are tense too much, then you will be always in trouble. So, the best thing is, please do not think about the result. My only request is, do not think about the results. Always think that you have to perform well on that particular day. On the next Sunday, I have to perform well. In that exam hall, I should perform well. Do not think about any result. Do not think about any marks and all when you start, at these days. So, relax a bit. And now a couple of things before you reach the exam. One is, you please make sure that your routine is such that you are sleeping in the night time and you are working during the daytime, because now only a few days left and your exam is in the daytime, say 9:30 to 11:30, then 2 to 4. So, you have to be very active during that time. So, some of you might have this this routine right now where you are studying the whole night and then sleeping the whole day. If some of you are those nocturnal animals, I will say, please change, come back to be a human being, come back to be humanness, and start sleeping in the night time, maintain a schedule. Don't exert too much right now, because you have studied so many things already. Our exam was supposed to be on 30th of May, many months before. So, at that time also you studied a lot. So, we have many things, you have studied a lot, you have so many things in you. Only thing is that on the day of exam, it should come out properly. Everything is there in the subconscious mind. So, please do not worry about whether you will remember or not. You will definitely remember. There is no problem at all, because whatever you have studied, it is there already. You will be able to remember in the exam hall. During these days, from now onwards till the exam, do not try to recollect things. Do not try to test yourself. No need to test. It is there in you. Please do not test. Do not try to recollect and then get panicked. Suppose you try to recollect 5 points, and if you are not able to recollect it right now, then you will get, you may go into a panic mode. You no need to do that. You have done enough. You have done a lot of hard work. So many things you have read, you have revised, many rounds of revision you have already done. Now, calm down a bit. You keep trying, keep studying. I am not saying do not study, but you sleep properly. Make sure that you are sleeping properly. Make sure that you are taking enough rest. You should not have that, you should not be tired on that particular day. On Sunday when you go for the exam, you should not be going there as if a tired person. That is the day you have to perform. You should have full energy. So, calm down a bit. Do not worry about results, not think about results. You should always tell yourself only one thing: it is a big day for me. Next Sunday, I have to perform well, and I have a big exam. I have to perform well. That's all. The rest will be automatically, taken care. Don't think about result. What will happen after that? Don't worry. We will consider everything after the exam is over. So, make sure that you are relaxed a bit. That is the most important thing. So, coming to the exam handling now. Whatever I am going to discuss right now, if you can improve, if it can help in increasing a couple of marks. See, what I am trying to say is, we have, so one question, if you get it correct because of whatever my discussion. So, otherwise if you are making a silly mistake, what you call as a, silly mistake. Please remember, when you make, otherwise you would have got it right. So, you should have been getting +2 by making it right, but by making it wrong, you are getting minus. So, you are getting minus 0.667 or 0.67. So, that means the net loss by making a mistake is 2.67 marks. One silly mistake is costing you 2.67, and 2 silly mistakes means more than 5 marks. And whenever those who have written the preliminary exam earlier, you know that you did not, your mark and the cutoff mark might have been 1 or 2 marks different. That means 1 or 2 silly mistakes only will make all the difference. So, whatever I am trying to help you, whatever I am trying to discuss right now, this is to reduce and minimize the silly mistakes, and if you can improve, if you can convert some of those mistakes into right answer, even 1 or 2, even 2 of them means 5 marks, 5 plus marks. So, that is more than sufficient to get through this preliminary for you. That is why this discussion is very important. Listen carefully. I am not going to elaborate much, because I know there is not much time and you are all tense about preparation. So, just listen, just think, which will help you. So, the first point I would like to discuss here is, in this exam handling, let me just show you this. And see, the first point is read instructions very carefully. See, you have to, the one big thing is, you make sure that before going to the exam hall also, read the instruction on the hall ticket as well as on the question booklet. In the front page of the booklet itself, there will be some instructions on the hall ticket itself. Then before you start answering, if there are some instruction given above the question, especially in paper 2 and all, there will be a lot of instructions coming. Please make sure that you are reading, don't overlook. Please read the instruction carefully, and instruction of every question, say above an assertion reason question. Earlier there used to be assertion reason questions. Wherever instructions are there, don't take it for granted. Please read the instruction. There may be something which you might not be knowing at that time. Make sure that you are reading those instructions. Okay. So the first point is, please make sure that you are reading all the instructions right from the whole ticket. The back side of the whole ticket, there are instructions. On the front page of the booklet, answer booklet, before you start the exam, there are some instructions given. Make sure that you are just knowing all those, you are reading it. It may be already, you may be already knowing it, but still you make sure that you are reading it, because it is Corona time. New instructions may be there. Please follow that instruction carefully and be on time, and all safeguards should be there. What all you can carry, what all you cannot carry, everything is given already. So please make sure that you are reading it again and making sure that you know the instruction very, very carefully. No mistakes in that. That is number one. Number two issue is, coming to this negative marks. Please understand, in some years, in certain questions, there were no negative marks. So many people, at that time, they did not read the instruction properly and they missed out. So this is mentioned just above the question in that instruction. Okay, in the instruction it is mentioned. So in question number so and so till so and so, there may not be no negative. Suppose there is an option like that in this paper. I am not saying it is always there. It was there in a couple of years. Then they have removed it. But if it comes like that also, if you read instruction, you will not miss out. So make sure that you are reading instruction, so that if there is no negative mark, you can mark it, because you are not losing anything by making a wrong choice also if there is no negative mark in a particular question. So that can be a good, good option for you, good opportunity for you, take some risk. So please read instruction. If some questions come without negative mark, you should be very happy. You should attempt it. Definitely you should attempt. Then there is no question of not attempting it, because even by fluke or by, by accident, if you get it correct, you are adding your marks, because if there is no negative mark. So there can be a possibility. So many students in that particular, I still remember, they failed to read the instruction, they missed out. So you should be able to capitalize on such things, and don't, that is why reading instruction is very important. Then another very important thing in the exam hall is invigilator. Okay, you are invigilator in the exam hall, because you may be in a school or it may be in a college. Yeah, some or a normal lecturer or a school teacher will be your invigilator, and they are also, see, whatever they know, whatever instructions are given to them, accordingly they will be telling in the class. Don't argue with them, don't fight with them. Even if you know what they are saying is wrong, you keep quiet. Please don't try to teach them unnecessarily. Don't show your original character there. There is no need. And make sure that your invigilator is signing on your answer sheet, and you sign on the attendance sheet. It's very important. And make sure that, and don't irritate, don't annoy the invigilator, don't create trouble for them. Whatever they say, let them say, because they are doing based on the instruction given to them. Many a times, they are also unaware of many things. They don't know what kind of pressure you are going through. So don't irritate them, don't argue with them, be friendly with the invigilator. Pay attention to the instruction. If the invigilator says don't do something, please don't do it. Make sure that you, and moreover, don't talk and all with your neighbor. You may not be even knowing that fellow. Don't talk unnecessarily. Don't irritate the invigilator. That is very important. I have seen in my time also, many a times, the people unnecessarily irritate the invigilator, and they also get tense. They may shout at you, then you may lose your mood. So many things are there. So you are invigilator, respect them. Whoever is there, it may be a school teacher, please don't think that I am IAS, she is only or he is only a school teacher. Don't go into that kind of ego problem. Respect your invigilator. That is very, very important. And unnecessary, no fighting with the invigilator. And now coming to once you start answering the question, now the one big thing is, after reading a question, suppose you read question number 1. Now, and you are not sure about the answer. Now, whether you should mark it in the exam or into the answer sheet, whether you should mark it into the OMR sheet, that question can always come to your mind. So, you have to take a decision whether you are marking it or not. Some of the questions you are leaving it, I know, but after reading the question, you take a decision immediately. You cannot postpone that decision for towards the end. Suppose you are not 100% sure, you are leaving, so that means if you leave it, what will happen is you may not get a chance to come back again. So, you have altogether left, and when you come back also you will have to read the question again fully. So, what will happen? You have to spend double time. So, my suggestion always is decision on every question whether to mark or not has to be taken immediately, and it cannot be postponed for a second time. And revisiting a question is a wastage of time. That is what I always say. Don't think of revisiting it. You will not be able to revisit it, and if you have invested time in a question, then you must take that decision. Because you read the question once, you might be reading twice. Now you have to take a decision whether you mark or not. Rather than, if at all you are highly confused and you don't want, but you may encircle and go, but you cannot do on too many questions. 1 or 2 questions you can think of coming back, but not many questions you will be able to come back. So, my suggestion is, once you read a question, once you understood the question, you should decide whether you are marking or not. If you are marking, you please mark immediately. If you decide not to mark, so you make it very clear, I am not marking it. That's over. So that no need to come back to that question again, and you have to take a decision immediately. So, because if you think of coming back after half an hour or 1 hour, again you will have to read the same question, again you will have to spend the same time to understand the question. Your content in the head is always same, it is not going to change now. So, my suggestion is, take a decision immediately, don't change it, or rather don't postpone the decision of marking or not marking. You have to take a decision immediately. So, that is very important. Then the next point I would like to say is that once you mark a question, once you because you are using a pen to to darken the circle, so you cannot change it in any case. So, once you mark a question, please don't revisit the question. There is no point in, don't cross check in the end. Once marked, no question of revisiting it. Don't read. Once marked, no question of revisiting the question. Second thought, I mean, even if you find a new idea, even if you think the answer is wrong, you cannot change it now, because you already marked it with on your OMR sheet with a pen. You cannot change it. You don't use any blade and all to change it. You cannot do that. So, please make sure that once you marked a question, once you identified an answer A, B, C, D, whatever it is, don't read that question again. I have marked it, I will not read that question again. After marking, no question of going back to the question. You don't waste time, because we are not going to change the answer. We cannot change the answer because we have already marked in the on the OMR sheet. Now, always when you read a question and whatever comes to your mind first, the first instinct, that is 99%, that is the answer. Okay, the first, normally what comes first is the answer, and that answer comes from the subconscious mind. And if you think more, wrong logic will creep in, and an afterthought will always be wrong. Normally it will be wrong. So, whatever came, so you read a question, suddenly some name came to your mind, Chandragupta Maurya, suppose, or one. So, you know that, okay, that has come, means that has come from the subconscious mind. Please make sure that you are marking it, that first instinct is the answer. Don't, if you think more, if you start applying your logic, and your conscious mind will give some idea, and 99% that logic will be wrong. So, the first instinct can be the answer. If whenever you have a doubt, what came to your mind first, if you mark, that is always better. First instinct could be the answer. And then another very important aspect I am going to tell, this is very, very important, that is when to mark your answer into the OMR sheet. When you read a question, suppose question number 5 or question number 6, you read it, you understood, and you identified the answer as A. Now, when will you mark that into the OMR sheet? You should mark it immediately. Usi waqt, the same time. Don't wait for an auspicious time to come to mark it into the OMR sheet. So, whatever you must encircle in the OMR sheet the moment you arrive at the answer, and you cannot postpone it. Don't wait to complete the page in your question paper, or don't wait for till you complete all the questions. Don't fix last 10 minutes to mark the answers into the OMR sheet. It is the most foolish thing you can do in the exam hall. You can go terribly wrong. Suppose you make one mistake while answering, maybe the entire sequence will go, and that will be the end of your career. end of your preparation or end of your 2020 attempt. So, whenever you get a answer, suppose question number 11, you got answer as C, immediately, usi waqt, you have to translate or transport that answer from your answer, maybe your question paper into your OMR sheet. You may never get a chance otherwise. If you keep it for the last, if something goes wrong, if you did not hear the warning bell or anything, and if suddenly if the invigilator comes and snatches your OMR sheet, and if you have not marked anything in the OMR sheet because you have marked only in your question paper, it will be disaster. So, please listen to me and please take this very, very seriously. Some of you might be thinking that no, I will translate, or rather I will convert all the answers into the OMR sheet in the end, or after one page, or I complete 5 questions in one, and all 5 questions will be converted into the answer sheet, or rather taken into the OMR sheet after 5 minutes. No, nothing. Every question number 1, you mark it. Question number 10, so whichever you are getting the answer, you please transport and mark it in the OMR sheet immediately. There is no debate and discussion in this. If you are not doing what I am saying, you will, and I am telling you, you may have to repent. Please don't do that mistake. I have seen hundreds of students making this mistake. Despite listening to me, despite hearing me, still they go to the exam hall and they will not and mark it in the OMR sheet immediately. They wait for some auspicious time to come. After half an hour I will do, after 10 minutes I will do, after 5 questions I will do. You can end up marking it completely wrong. It can be really terrible. And if you know, and if you have marked in the question paper and you fail to answer into the OMR sheet, it is the most disastrous thing it can happen to you. Please listen to me and please follow this instruction 100% without any fail. Immediately, every question you transport, or rather make sure that you are marking it in the OMR sheet rather than waiting for some time to come. And one more point I would like to add here is, when you answer it into the answer OMR, suppose question number 15, you marked it as A. In your answer sheet also, you please put a small indicator to know that, after some time when you analyze your question paper later on, once you come out of the exam hall, when you have to analyze, please make sure that you are marking which is the answer you are marking in the OMR sheet. So, even though officially it is said that you should not mark anything in the question paper, but at least you put some dot or some indicator that which is the answer you are marking in the OMR sheet. Make sure that you know it, so that when you come out, we can calculate how many questions you have done, what is the total marks you are going to get, because we will also come out with the answers immediately after the exam is over. So, you will come to know what is the score you are going to get, then we can make a reasonable guess whether you are clearing this preliminary or not. So, you must mark the answer in the question paper, but in a small way. Don't write anything else, don't write too many things in that, and don't bring the attention of the examiner by writing too many things in the question paper, but you just put a mark so that you know that which is the answer you are marking in the OMR sheet, and use rough sheet for any other calculation and all, or any diagram or map or anything, you use a rough sheet. And unanswered question, you please encircle it, so that suppose you get 5 minutes time extra, suppose towards the end you get some 5 minutes or 7 minutes, at that time, if you are to read some question, you have to cross check something, those unanswered questions you can pick up. So, any question you are not marking, please encircle on the question number itself, so that when you come back you can see that, okay, oh, this is the question I did not mark, I want to read it again. So, you please encircle the unanswered question so that you can revisit it. Okay. So, make sure that you are doing, otherwise please mark the answer which you are encircling in the OMR sheet, so that if required, we can we know when we can calculate also, and we can come back also if a question you have not marked. Now, just one more point I would like to add here is, that is, when you encircle, please ensure that you are encircling it full. Please make sure that no gap, and you have to encircle it full. Okay. If you leave any gap, if you do, and the other 3 should be empty. See, now please remember one very important thing, that is, the computer is scanning it. When the computer scans, if A is the answer, A, B, C, D, what is the instruction given to the computer? The computer's instruction is, and B, C and D should be blank, no marking, nothing. So, don't by mistake also don't put any mark or no dot, nothing inside the other 3 circles. So, that should be completely empty, then only, and make sure that A or whichever is the answer, that is fully encircled and no gap and all. So, make sure that you are shading it properly such a way that nothing, no gap, nothing, and in the other 3 do not touch, I mean no marks, no cut mark, no dot, nothing should be there. If anything is there, that question, the computer may read that you have marked more than one option, and your that question may be, they may not count even if you have marked the right answer. So, when you mark in the OMR sheet, make sure that you are not doing anything, you are not putting any extra dots or points or any mark of the pen or anything. And in the OMR sheet, one more point I would like to add to you. See, there may be some black dots and all in the corner. So, something like these black dots and all there. So, these are very important because that is the that is for the computer to recognize. So, whatever those dots and points and all in the OMR sheet, that they are very important thing, and make sure that you are not folding the OMR sheet and all. So, make sure that no damage to the OMR sheet, that is very, very important. All those dots and points and some marks on the OMR sheet, that is very important for scanning. So, be very, very careful about that. I am just reminding you in between. So, that is about it. So, when when you when in the question paper, you please put the tick mark and rough calculation in the rough sheet, unanswered question you encircle and come out, so that we know what you missed out or what you did not. Now, the next question is how many questions you should attempt. This is a very, very important question, and you should be very, very clear, and all ALS students have said many times, but I am still repeating it. See, my simple calculation is when it comes to this marking, do not mark, maximum is 80. Maximum is 80 questions in paper 1. Please do not mark more than 80 questions. See, no matter how easy the question paper is, you please make sure that you are not crossing that 80 limit. At the maximum, and if you are so confident because of 3-4 extra months you studied and you are so confident, so maybe 82. 80 to 82, not more than that. Please do not mark more than that. Any extra you are going to mark, it is going to be the wrong answer. And if you come out and tell me, I marked 95 questions, sir, it was very easy, I will immediately tell you that you will not clear preliminary. So, please do not cross that 80-82 limit. 78 to 80, I will, many a times I say, you are 78 to 80, maximum is 82, do not mark more than that. Anything extra, it will be wrong answer, I can guarantee you. And similarly, what is the minimum? Minimum is again 70. If you are marking, less than 70, 68 to 70, if you are marking less than that, again your chance of getting through this preliminary is very, very less, because you need a minimum threshold. So, imagine you are marking only 70 questions, and normally what is expected of you is around 80% accuracy, not more than. No matter how good you are, it is very, very rare you can claim that if I mark it will be correct. No, you will make mistake even after after whatever be your confidence level. Suppose you are getting 80% accuracy. If you are getting 70 into 80% means you are getting 56 questions right, and you made 14 questions wrong. 14 wrong, almost 5 marks. So, 56 minus 5 is 49. Sorry, minus 5 is 51. So, just managed, okay, 51, that means 102 marks. So, last year it was 98, so it can be anywhere between 98 to 105 could be the cutoff. So, if you are getting 70, if you are marking 70 and your accuracy is 80%, then you are just getting 102 marks. So, which is just on the borderline case. So, that is why I am saying it should not be less than 70 and it should not be more than 80. See, if you are marking 95, imagine 95 and you are getting 60 correct. So, you made 35 wrong. 35 wrong means 12 marks you lost it, 12 into 3. So, minus 12. So, 60 minus 12 is 48 is equal to 96. You are out. You are out if you are marking 95 question and you are getting only 60 correct. See, that is why I am saying you mark around 75 to 80, get 80% accuracy into 80%. So, 80 questions and 80% accuracy means 64. So, you may be getting around 60, 64 correct, not more than that. It is not humanly possible to get more than that. So, please make sure that you are marking anywhere. So, the final conclusion of my discussion is 70 to 80 questions you have to attempt, and you cannot be doing more than that. Okay. So, how much to mark? One second. So, let me just tell you. So, attempt around 75 to 80 maximum. If conceptual questions are more, I mean, I am not going to distinguish too much about that, but still I am saying that at the maximum 80, 82 questions can be attempted. In CSAT, if you are an engineer and if you are very comfortable, you can go up to 90% also, but please remember, you make sure that you are not unnecessarily marking questions. In paper 1, 70 to 80, and in paper 2, it can be 60 to 70 also, it is up to you, there is no problem with that, but make sure that you are not unnecessarily marking it. So, how much to attempt? I think I am very clear, and the minimum requirement, that is what I am trying to tell you again, the minimum requirement is 70%. If 70% is not achieved despite all efforts, you can attempt even such questions where there is a doubt between two answers. Suppose you towards the end you have counted and found that you have attempted only 65 questions, you make it 70, minimum is 70. So, at least in 5 questions you take some risk, and if you are attempting say less than 60% of the question, if you are attempting only 60, if you are leaving 40 or already, no chance of clearing preliminary. So, you have to attempt around 70, please understand this, and you cannot attempt more than 80. Your number of attempts should be between 70 and 80. Highest upper limit is 80, lower limit should be 70. If it is less than 70, the chance of getting through is very less. If it is more than 80, because of too many silly mistakes, you will be out, or not silly mistakes, too many negative marks, you will be out. Okay. So, be careful about this, and I hope you understood this. And then another very important thing I would like to say is that don't stake your prestige in every question. Meaning, suppose geography is your strong area, and when you get a question, you should not think that I should get it correct. Koi baat nahi, if you miss out, even from your best of the areas, even for engineers, there will be some questions in mental ability which may be very tough. Don't take it every question as your prestige, matter of prestige. Similarly, if you are a history graduate, not every question history you may be answering, or if you are a geography graduate, if you are very strong in geography, geography is an optional subject, then you cannot answer all geography questions in paper 1. At least 10% of the questions can be ignored even from your strong area. Suppose 10 questions are coming from a geography, maybe you will mark only 9 or maybe even 8, who knows. So, there may be a possibility that you may have to miss out a couple of questions from your strong area also, and don't think that that is a matter of prestige for you, everything. And similarly, then need for accuracy, I already told you, accuracy should be 80%, accuracy is very crucial because of the negative marks. I expect you to have accuracy of 80%, minimum is 75%, meaning 80% means if you mark 20 questions, 16 should be correct, or if you mark 10 questions, 8 should be correct, or minimum is 15 to 16 questions. Out of every 20 questions you mark, at least 15 questions should be correct, 15 to 16 questions should be correct, that is the expectation, and the success and failure depends upon the accuracy. So, be very, very careful, and you have to have good accuracy level. And then another very important strategy in the exam hall is, because we may not be, when you do initially you may be a bit fast, initially you may be a bit slow. Now, when at 1 hour, at the end of 1 hour, see 9:30 the exam starts, by 10:30 take a break, maybe a 1 minute break, maybe a 2 minutes break. Please count how many questions you marked in the OMR sheet. And see, we are going to mark, see, you are going to mark a maximum of 80 questions. So, by the end of 1 hour, I expect you to mark say at least 40 to 45 questions. Okay. So, my point is, at the end of 1 hour, take a pause, count the answers you marked in the OMR sheet, and take a 1 minute rest also, take a rest and thoda relax karo. So that if you have marked less than 40 questions, because you have to reach 80, you may have to speed up a bit. If you have already marked 45 to 50 questions, slow down a bit. That is why take a break, relax a bit, maybe close your eyes, take some deep breaths, so that you can regain your energy and power. And if you have marked more than 45 questions, slow down a bit. Depending upon the situation, you can increase or decrease the speed. If it is less than 40, you may have to increase the speed, because you have to mark around 80. That is our aim. So 75 to 80. So please take a review of the situation. But this can be done only if you have marked your answers into the OMR sheet. That is why I am insisting. You will be counting the number of questions you have looked or done based on how many questions you have marked in the OMR sheet. If the OMR sheet numbers are less, suppose only 30, then it is slightly alarming, because you have to mark many more. So you have to speed up the process. So this will be a good review time. 1 hour, 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes, a break. It will help you in regaining. And if something is not that up to the mark according to your expectation, so my expectation is you should have marked 40 to 45 questions. If it is not there, yes, it is time to speed up. That may be a course correction for you in the middle of the exam hall. That is very, very important for you, because that will decide your future. Make sure that you are not missing out on this front. At the end of 1 hour, take a break of 1 minute. Please count. Then maybe 1 more minute you take another, just to have some deep breath and close your eyes, and just to regain and your energy and concentration. Come back, and with full energy you have to do it again. Okay. So take a pause. That is very, very important. Then the next point I would like to do is that when it comes to guesswork, okay, when a lot of guesswork you do, but no guesses on factual question. That is the first point I would like to say. Take a chance if you are able to eliminate 2 options. Now, if you have to guess between 2 options, A and B, you have a doubt, then you can go for guessing. And on conceptual questions, even if you have not read, you can take decision, because you can take a guess. See, if it is a factual question, who is the Prime Minister of India, or who is the President of US, and you forgot. Now, you cannot guess anything. You have to either or you don't know. But on a conceptual question, where a couple of statements are given, and even if you have not read that statement earlier, you can make a reasonable guess. So I would like to give an example of a conceptual question, with reference to the micro irrigation. Which of the following statement is correct? That is this is the question. So it says fertilizers, nutrients loss can be reduced. Number 2, it is the only means of irrigation in dry land farming. It may not be the only mean, because that only is creating trouble. So 2 you can eliminate. Fertilizer nutrient loss can be reduced. That is a reasonably correct statement. And the third statement, in some areas of farming, receding of groundwater table can be checked. So that also looks logical. So what I am saying, even if you have not read anything about micro irrigation, in this question you can take a reasonable guess and say 1 and 3 are the correct answer. Okay, C is the answer, you can say. So that is possible in a conceptual question like this. So another example of conceptual question. So if a tropical rainforest is removed, it does not regenerate quickly as compared to tropical deciduous forest. 4 options are given. Number 1, the soil of the rainforest is deficient in nutrients. So I am not 100% sure right now, but let us read all the 4 options, then you can eliminate that. Okay. B, the propagules of the trees in rainforest have poor viability. That is not correct. That we know. It has great viability. These trees can grow. Number C, the rainforest species are slow growing. No, not at all. That also we know. D, exotic species invade the fertile soil of the rainforest. So we may have a doubt between A and D, but we can safely conclude that A is the answer because of the excessive rainfall, excessive leaching. The nutrients have gone down. So the soil of the rainforest is deficient in nutrient, could be the reason, because they were surviving because of the humus. Now the humus is removed. So anyway, what I am saying, even if you have a doubt, the doubt may be between A and D. You can make a guesswork on this, so that we can take a risk on this factor. So that is what I am saying. In conceptual questions, think of taking a risk also if required, so that you can achieve that 70 questions out of 100. That is what I am saying. Now another thing is, now a very simple thing, if it is a very long question, very long questions can be reserved for the second round. That means initially you put a circle and move forward, because if you think that it will take too much of time to read, but very long questions are very, very easy. because the answer may be there in that question itself. You will 99.9% you will get the answer. So, if it is a very long question, the answer will be simple only, but because of the lack of time, if you did not want to read in the first round or initially, encircle it, come back and read. Otherwise, don't miss that question, because 99% of the time the answer of that question will be very simple. So, never miss a very long question. If a big paragraph is given, don't get frightened by that big paragraph. You must try, and you should be trying, but you decide when to want to try. Then another very important thing is, watch out for the specific words in the question, like for example, which are correct, not correct. See, whenever you see not correct, you encircle it in the question paper itself, that not correct, that not is the most important thing. Sometimes we forget. So, encircle it. Similarly, ascending order, descending order question, or upstream, downstream, or in all these questions, you just encircle or underline that keyword. That is a keyword there. Don't miss out, because you may make mistake. So, or east to west or west to east, all these questions, arrange the cities from west to east. So, accordingly, you please mark it, underline it, maybe encircle it in the question paper, so that it is always striking on your head, you are not making mistake there. So, be very careful about this. And then, ascending order, descending order questions also can be there. So, what I am trying to say, in ascending order, descending order questions, you might have studied something in the descending order, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay. So, if you have studied something like that, please write down in your what you call the rough work, in the rough sheet. Then, if it is an ascending order, that means from lower to the higher, then accordingly you can adjust it. Or you studied something, the cities on Ganga, river Ganga, from west to east you studied. The question is from east to west. So, whatever you studied, you write down. You write down it in your rough sheet, the way you studied, then reversing it is very easy. So, arriving at answer will be very easy for you. Okay. So, ascending order, descending order questions or all, whatever way you studied, you please remember, you write down in your rough sheet, then you can alter it and you can change it. So, that may be, so that you can avoid the mistakes. Then, in the assertion reason, these days assertion reason questions are not there. My thing is, you can please read the instructions given, that is very important. And sometimes confusion may be between that A and B, because you might have seen that these days, but questions are not there. But let me just remind you, the instruction for the assertion reason is the following item: 2 statements, one labeled assertion A and the other labeled as reason R. You are to examine these 2 statements very carefully and decide if the assertion A and reason R are individually true, and if so, whether the reason is a correct explanation of the assertion. So, this was the kind of question which used to come earlier. These days it is not there, but we cannot rule out it completely. So, that is why be aware of this kind of question. So, answer A says, the code A says both A and R are true, but R is the correct and R is the correct explanation of the A. So, how do you know that R is the correct explanation? You read both the statements together with a because in between, so that you can conclude. If with because if you read and if it is logical, then it is A. But second, B says both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So, both are correct statement. C and D, there is no problem. A is true, R is false. D, A is false, R is true, that is okay. But A and B can be the confusing thing. Okay. So, now let me just give you one question, so that you will understand that. So, a question which has come earlier. So, the Himalayan mountain ranges are being described as youthful. You individually assess, yes, A is correct, the first statement is correct. Then forget about A, read the second statement separately. The Himalayan mountain range is compressed and folded in the last phase of the geological history of earth. That is also correct statement. Now, whether you have to mark A or B, now you have to read both the statements together with a because in between. Let me read it. The Himalayan mountain ranges are being described as youthful because, you are adding a because in between. The Himalayan mountain range is compressed and folded in the last phase of the geological history of earth. So, when you read this combinedly, if it is logical, answer is A. If it is not logical, then answer is B. So, in this particular case, when you combinedly read it, the Himalayan mountain ranges are being described as youthful because the Himalayan mountain range is compressed and folded in the last phase of the geological history of earth. It looks logical. So, the answer is A. Similarly, one more question, you will understand, Africa is deficient in coal and iron ore. That is a correct statement. A is correct. Or it has hampered the production of steel, which is so important for modern industrial growth. That is also correct. Both the statements are correct. Now, whether it is A or B, how will you do? Read it together by putting a because, and if it is logical, answer is A. If it is illogical, answer is B. Africa is deficient in coal and iron ore because it has hampered. No. See, just see, Africa is deficient in coal and iron ore because of some other reason. Now, they are saying if you read, put because in between and read, what will happen? Africa is deficient in coal and iron ore because it has hampered the production of steel. That is an illogical combined statement. So, the answer should be B. I hope you understood. I am not spending much time on that because that kind of questions are not asked these days, but still I just give a clue because we cannot rule out it completely. Now, the match the following question, always whatever suppose here Africa, the mountain, the peaks which is given, draw an arrow and Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro, A1, mark an arrow in the question paper itself so that you will not miss out. And then Europe, when it comes to say North America, Mount McKinley, and Australia, Kosciuszko, so put an arrow mark so that you are not getting stuck, or rather you will not be making any wrong choices later on when you write the ABCD. So, that is a very simple thing, you know it. Now, another thing I would like to say is that suppose you read question number 1 and you got stuck, you do not know the answer. Question number 2 you read, again you are stuck, you are not able to make it. Suppose 2-3 questions went like that, you may get panic unnecessarily. My suggestion is, if you get stuck in some tough questions in your particular sequence, because 4 different question booklets are there, A series, B series, C series, D series is there. So, in your series, if the first questions are tough, if 4-5 questions you read and you cannot, and maybe you stop there, go to the last question, or maybe start from question number 51 or start from question number 61. Start from somewhere so that you can break the monotony, or maybe break from that tough question. Suppose you are not so comfortable in history and initial questions are all history, or you are not very comfortable in say economics and initial questions are all economics which you are reading, and you may get panic unnecessarily. So, what I am saying, after 3-4 questions, if you are stuck somewhere, go to another, maybe you start from question number 21, maybe start from question number 31, and then that is why when you convert, when you write the answer immediately to the OMR sheet, you also know from where you are doing. So, you will not be missing out anything. So, you can change the sequence, or start from some other number, maybe 21 onwards. So, sometimes easy questions may be there towards the end in your particular series. 2 or 3 correct answers can bring back the confidence also. So, to avoid losing confidence, if you are getting stuck in a particular, maybe question number 21 you reached, and 21, 22, 23, 24, all you are stuck, maybe you start from question number 30 or maybe from 40, so that you can break the monotony and gain back the confidence which you want. Okay. So, if you are stuck, you can do that. Then another very small things now I would like to say, you please do not talk to your neighbor, because you do not know who is that neighbor sitting in the exam hall. And one more thing you please remember, when you go to the exam hall and suppose 20 students can sit in a classroom, only 10 will be there. Normally, the normal thing about UPSC is not more than 50% of the people go to the exam hall. So, when you go there, lot of empty spaces will be there, empty seats will be there, and you should not get panicked by seeing that. That is normal. And in your case, maybe only 40% will come, because the corona also some more people may not come. So, only 40% or 35%, 1/3 of the people will come to the exam hall. So, that is the normal, and you do not get panicked by seeing that. You should not think, oh, nobody is writing, so I also should not have been writing this, that. Do not think at all. If more people are not writing, it is good for us. Okay, that is number 1. Number 2, if somebody is there, maybe you do not know about that candidate, you have not seen that candidate at all, and do not ask anything about, do not ask him, because we do not know whether he is a serious candidate or she is a serious candidate or a non-serious, we do not know anything about that. So, do not ask your neighbor whether the paper is easy or tough, especially when the exam is going on. You do not know him or her at all, and do not ask any question, and if that fellow says it is very easy, you will get panic unnecessarily. The response from your neighbor can be frightening you, and if she or she is a non-serious candidate, then the answer is invariably will be very easy, and you will get panic unnecessarily. So, whether your neighbor had it easy or not, it does not make any difference for you. So, I will suggest do not ask anything to your neighbor unnecessarily. Then some other vital tips I would like to say. One is, Out of the 4 options, some, these are simple tricks I am saying. Out of the 4 options, if one of the option is very long, A, B, C, D given one word, A is one word, B is one word, but C is a long statement and D is again one word. Generally that long statement will be the answer. Why? Because the examiner wants to make it more clear. Examiner wants to avoid ambiguity. So in the process, the examiner is, writing it, or rather in an expanded version. So generally it will be the answer. Then second point is, so a longer answer, if a phrase is given, if a sentence is given, the chance of that option being the answer is very high. That is number 1. Another is, read the question completely. When I say completely, including the 4 options, then only you decide whether you know or no. By reading the question, you may not be knowing anything. Even by seeing the, the answer part, there may be 1, 2, 3, you may not be knowing much, but read the option also. 1 and 2 are correct, 2 and 3 are correct, 1, 2, 3, 4 are correct. So in that you may be able to eliminate. So read the question completely, including its options. Don't arrive at a conclusion whether you know or not, whether you are leaving it or not, unless you read full, including the 4 options. And the process of elimination should be applied rather than searching for the right answer, because by reading even the 4 options, suppose out of the 3 statements given, 1 statement you 100% that is wrong. And if that option is there, if that statement is there in 3 of the answers, you can immediately eliminate and only 1 is left, that is the answer. So what I am trying to say is that don't conclude that you know or you don't know unless you read all the 4 options and try to eliminate. Suppose out of the 3 statements given, even if you know 1 statement properly, even if you know that statement is correct or wrong, based on that you may be able to arrive at a conclusion. So don't give up, okay, till you try to eliminate also. So that is very, very important. So elimination. And then coming to the guesswork, once again I would like to remind you, some of you, if you guess, it may get it right. I know many people, if you guess 7 out of 10 times it is correct, but some of you are there, 7 out of 10 times it will go wrong. If you guess, it is wrong. If you know your track record, if you know that if I make a guess, I will make it wrong, then don't guess in the UPSC exam hall also. In your practice test, in your class test, if you are invariably making wrong choices in guessing, in the UPSC hall also you will be doing the same thing. So that is what I am saying now. Be careful in the guesswork. In the guesswork, it may be. So be careful while guessing. Look into your track record, what you are doing till now. If you are invariably marking wrong answer while guessing during your practice test, the result will not be different in the UPSC exam hall also. Are you getting this? So you know your track record, you know your ability. If you are making many mistakes while guessing, please be very, very careful. But there are people I know, if you make some guesswork, invariably it may go right. So if 7 out of 10 questions, when you guess, if it is coming correct, you continue guessing in the UPSC exam hall also. If 7 out of 10 are wrong in your case, it is your individual case, then be very, very careful. The result may not be different in the UPSC exam hall also. You know your track record, accordingly you perform as far as the guesswork is concerned. Then in your exam hall, a couple of points I would like to add. It may be a government school, it may be a Sarkari college. The best of the facilities may not be there. The desk in which you have to write, it may have holes, uneven surface. Be very careful. When you mark it, your OMR sheet should not tear and all. Be careful. So you can carry a writing board with a paper clip, okay, so that you can clip it and you will not be writing on the on that desk. I still remember when I was writing one of the years, I got in a government school where the bench was literally, or rather the desk was like an old man's teeth, and it was oscillating, and I had to literally hold the the desk properly, and then many holes in that. So it was very, very difficult for me to mark in that OMR sheet because I was not carrying a what you call writing board. So be careful. And number 2, especially those who are having centers in and around Delhi, there are hundreds of schools where the centers are there now. You please go and see the school beforehand. I mean, don't search the school on that day morning. Sunday morning, you should not be searching. You should know where to go, how exactly to go. And please make sure that how can you reach, whether metro is there, whether whether you are going in your own vehicle or bike, or somebody will take you to the exam hall, you decide it beforehand. Make sure that you are reaching the exam hall much before time, and you should not be searching the hall, the school or the college on that day morning unnecessarily. Make sure that you know the place. Familiarization of the location is very important. Familiarity is very important, so that you don't have that unfamiliar thing on that day morning. So make sure that you are visiting and identifying the center at least a couple of days before. For a break, you go and see the place and come in the next couple of days. If you have not visited already, if you have visited, it is fine. Make sure that you know the exact location of the school, especially in Delhi. So many this government schools are there, Sarvodaya, Kanya, Vidyalaya. Now there are so many of them, and there may be at the same location 2-3 schools may be there. So you should not get confused about the school, okay, and make sure that you identify it. Another very important thing is, be on time. Please reach the exam hall at least 1 hour before. If 9:30 is the exam, at least by 8:30 you reach there. The moment you are allowed to enter the building, occupy your designated seat. Don't while around unnecessarily. No big talks and chit chat and all. Forget about all those things, okay. And don't waste time here and there. Go and sit there, relax, concentrate, focus. Wait for the exam to start. Wait for the book, the OMR sheet to be given to you, the answer booklet to come. So be ready, and no unnecessary talks, no gossip unnecessarily. Concentrate, and at least 1 hour before you reach the exam hall. I know a couple of candidates last year who, only because of their casualness, they did not reach the exam hall on time, and they were not allowed to enter the exam hall. And just imagine, and in these kind of exam, if you fail to and the corona time, we don't know the time will be taken, and you please make sure that you are reaching there half an hour, 1 hour before. That is always better. I mean, I will say not after 8:30. If 9:30 is the exam, 1 hour before you please reach. 9 o'clock is maybe the reporting time. You make sure that you are reaching at least half an hour before. Wait in front of the gate, so that entry and identifying the classroom, everything will be easy. So please make sure that you are reaching on time. Please don't take any risk in that. Go there maybe 1 hour before. You reach at 8 o'clock, yaar, koi problem nahi hai. You while around a bit in front of the school or the college. The moment the gates are open, you can go inside, identify the classroom. Please sit and occupy your seat. Make sure that no doubt regarding that. Carry the hall ticket and all, it when the instructions are there. The way it is told, you have to carry. Okay. So please make sure that you are not making any mistakes in that. That is why reading instruction is very important. It is corona time. Different instruction, different rules will be there. Whatever is given, whatever is there, please read it carefully. I am not going to read it for you. You are all sensible people, and make sure that you are doing that. Okay. Then one more thing. Then in between the two papers, sorry, in between the two papers. One second. So in between the two papers, I am talking. So what is it? Is it after 9:30 to 11:30? Then 2 o'clock is the paper 2. Of course, it is only a qualifying paper. I know very well, but still, make sure that you are not doing anything unnecessarily. Have food, relax. Don't search the answer of the paper 1 in that gap. You please come out of the exam after paper 2. I will tell you all the answers. Please don't worry. We will be having an elaborate, discussion on answers. We will be live discussion will be there. Answer will be provided to you separately. Everything you will do. So don't search the answer of the paper 1, and don't try to study anything during the gap also. Now some mental ability, some formula and all. Don't try to study whatever you studied. That's all. Don't waste time there. Again, focus. Not too many talks and all. Relax. Wait for the exam to happen and write the exam, and less distraction. That's the point. Don't travel too much. Don't go far away from the exam hall. Be near. Don't go for a long drive and all. If you have a bike and all, don't make any accident in between. I know some of the candidates. I mean, I don't want to tell who. Subsequently, he became IAS also. In between, he went for a ride in one attempt, and he had a minor accident, and he could not write second paper and lost it. See, you should not have been doing all this nonsense. Be in and around the exam hall, have some lunch, then wait for the exam to happen, the second paper at 2 o'clock, and be very sensible about all these things. Okay, don't do foolish things. That is the only request I have. So don't go far away from the exam hall. So make sure that you are serious about this. And so that is about in between. So that is in general the points which I want to make. The bottom line is keep your calm, no tension. You studied so much, you know so much. The subconscious mind has everything. Now onwards, a bit relaxed. Daytime you be awake, night time you sleep, and don't exert too much. You should not be too tired for the exam. Now the next 4 or 5 days, relax a bit, but keep revising. I am not asking you to relax and give up. Don't give up. Keep revising, but don't put too much of pressure on you. Don't worry about the result. Don't worry about the result. Result will automatically come. It will be good result. But you always tell yourself that I have to perform very well on this Sunday. I have to perform both the papers well. Even if the paper 2 you are not doing well, and in paper 2 please remember a couple of things. Number one, that you have to answer both maths, mental ability, reasoning as well as the reading comprehension. At least 45 minutes you please devote for reading at least. I will suggest that some of you, and sometimes reading comprehension can be very lengthy. If you are starting with reading comprehension, first 45 minutes reading comprehension, then go to maths, mental ability, reasoning. But if you are starting with maths, mental ability, reasoning, after 1 hour definitely you should do reading comprehension for 45 minutes. So first hour if it is for maths, next 45 minutes for reading comprehension, then the last 15 minutes again can be for maths. Because around 30 questions are from reading comprehension, 50 questions are from maths. So 1 hour 15 minutes you can give for maths, and 45 minutes for reading comprehension. Minimum required for reading comprehension is 45 minutes. Don't give less than that time. If you give less than that time, you may mark less than what is required. So please make sure that you are spending at least 45 minutes for reading comprehension, and if you are very weak in maths, not more than 1 hour for reading comprehension. Rest 1 hour should be devoted for maths, mental ability, reasoning. Both should be done. Please make sure that you are doing enough in both, so that even if there is a sectional cutoff, you will not have any problem. There are years when there were sectional cutoff in paper 2. We don't know what is the situation this year. UPSC will not disclose it. They will not tell you also. But there will not be any instruction also. But there were years when sectional cutoffs were there. Please make sure that you are dividing and you are doing both reading comprehension and maths, mental ability almost equal time. Minimum is 45 minutes for reading comprehension, so that you have enough questions there, and 1/3 marks you have to get. So it is not that tough, but it is not that easy. You have to be fully focusing in that 2 hours. Don't give up and come in between. There is no hurry to come out of the exam hall in paper 2. You take your full time, same formula, same strategy. Whenever you get an answer, you mark it in the OMR sheet immediately. Don't postpone that decision to be marked later on and all. Everything what I said for paper 1 is same for paper 2 also, but equal time for the reading comprehension. So be aware of this, and go with full confidence. You can do it, and you have studied so much. You are not going to make mistakes unnecessarily. But if you focus the way I am talking, you can reduce, you can minimize the the negative mark. No silly mistakes, because which of the following are not correct, and ascending, descending and all. If you are not making such mistakes, you can add. Every silly mistake is costing you 2.66 marks. 2 silly mistakes, 1 attempt is lost. So be very careful, and we cannot afford, and focus. Focus is the key, and don't worry about the result. That is why I am repeatedly saying don't worry about the result. And finally, a couple more points I would like to say. One is, on the exam day, after the exam, both the papers are over, by 6 o'clock, okay, by 4 o'clock we will come out with the results. Just like that, we will say in paper 1 what was the answer, ABCD we will give you, and 6 o'clock there will be live discussion at 6 p.m. in our YouTube channel as well as in the Facebook. Myself will be there, Manish will be there, Alok will be there, all of us will come, and respective areas we will pick up, and we will explain the answer 6 p.m. on 4th October, or after the preliminary exam is over, at 6 p.m. itself we will have our live discussion. elaborate discussion will be there. Each and every question out of 198, 97 questions, we will be able to very definitively tell the answer. One or two questions there may be some doubt or discussion, that can always be there, but 97, 98 questions we will give definite answer for you, and that evening itself we can have a safe conclusion, very reasonable conclusion about whether you are clearing the preliminary or not. So, and we may come out with a reasonable guess about what could be the cutoff mark also. So, and that evening, that means next Sunday evening 6 o'clock, live discussion will be there on the question and the answers, and the right answer I will be discussing, and the whole team will be coming and discussing, so that you will get to know what is the final answer, and we will be giving this live on 6th of, sorry, on 6 p.m. on the day of the exam itself. And by 8 p.m. even paper 2's answers will be given to you. Okay. So, everything will be there, please do not worry about that. And one more point I would like to remind you is, after the preliminary is over, we will be having a crash course for our main exam discussion, and we have identified around 600 topics and questions which can be asked. Our course name is 600 plus, GS 600 plus will be our course name. We will be having an elaborate, maybe around 24 days of discussion and 14 tests. It is a discussion plus test. There will be, it is a crash course plus test. So, you will be asked to write the answer, we will be evaluating also. So, we will be discussing almost 600 questions from all the 4 papers, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 and paper 4 and essay. All 5 we can say, even we will be making some guesswork also, and we are very confident or reasonably confident that most of the questions will be coming, anything related to current affairs, anything related to what is happening around the analysis and the way it is going around, those questions will come from our discussion. This is the course name is GS 600 plus. It is going to be, it is a very powerful course we are designing, and you can really make a lot of difference. Even if you have not done much for the main exam, this is the time you can easily do it, because we will be talking about the topic, and we will discuss also, and then we will take the test, so that using the, you will have enough practice for answer writing, as well as 14 tests we can do. We will be doing 14 tests will be there, then 26 sessions will be there of 2.5 to 3 hours. So, through this your revision of the GS also will take place, and plus you are going the tests also. So, that is the program we are starting from 10th of October. From 10th of October, this course will start. On 4th, after the preliminary exam at 6 p.m, live discussion on the questions will be there. Please do not forget to listen to that. You can immediately conclude what did you do, how much you have done and everything. Meantime, nothing to worry, no panic, 100% you can get through. Keep your cool, keep revising, do not add anything new, whatever possible, whatever notes you have made till now, whatever you have underlined, you try to read, fast reading, do not try to recollect anything right now. It will come back to you in the day, on the exam hall it will come back. I am very confident you can easily get through. Keep your cool. Last year also for general category the cutoff was only around 98. So, you need just 50% of the marks, maybe slightly more than that. It is not difficult. You have to mark only 80 questions. In that also 80% accuracy, that means you should get only around 60 questions correct, 60, 62 correct. You can make 15, 17 questions wrong also. Even then you will get through. You can leave 20 questions. You can make another 15, 17 questions wrong. Even then you will get through. So, that is the beauty of this exam. There is a lot of scope, plenty of scope for you. So, do not give up and put in the right effort, but do not exert too much. Do not tire yourself before the exam. That is the only request I have. And having said all these things, good luck, and I am sure you will be able to do well, and please do well. Please get through this preliminary, enough scope. Many people may not be writing this exam. You got some extra time, and because of corona and all may not reach the exam hall. Many people may not reach. That is an opportunity for you. Do not miss this exam. Take this exam, get through preliminary. We have a wonderful program for the main exam also, and we should get through and we should get a rank, and that is our aim. So, that is all from my side. I am not picking up too many questions. So, please make sure that you are doing well. Do not panic, and you can make it. Thank you and bye-bye.